Hi everyone, I hope you're well, thanks for clicking on the video. I just this second got done watching the finale of The Walking Dead, like literally, I stopped watching it and I came right over here to talk to you guys because if you guys have watched the episode too, I'm guessing that your minds are also blown, right? Like that was probably the best episode of The Walking Dead we've ever had. The pacing was incredible, it was so fast paced, so much was happening. It opened up with the death of Luke's partner, I can't remember her name right now, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name, but the death of Luke also. I was thinking that perhaps this could happen ever since they reintroduced Luke so late in the season. I thought, man, he's a character whose death, if he were to die, would carry a lot of weight. But also, you know, he's not been around, so he's not too significant. And The Walking Dead like to kill those kind of characters, right? So I wasn't too surprised to see his death, although it was still heartbreaking nonetheless. We also got to see Rosita reunite with Coco, which was beautiful, right? This whole episode, they really emphasized on Rosita and her motherhood, right? And all that she would do for her child. So it was amazing to see her have that moment, right? We'll talk more about Rosita in a little while because, of course, if you guys watch the episode, you'll know that Rosita won't be around anymore. She won't be in the spin-offs, let's just say that for sure. But she didn't die like how they led us to believe she would die, right? Again, emphasizing on her motherhood and all that she will do for her child, right? Like she will not lay down on her back. She will fight with her last breath, her last fiber until her child is safe. And so it was great to see that. Also, like, heartbreaking later on in the episode when you find out she's been bitten, like it just tears you up. To see Eugene's reaction to that was just so heartbreaking. It was also great to see this conversation between Maggie and Negan, right? We had a couple moments like this in this episode where, you know, Negan had the opportunity to open up and apologize. And for the first time, really, we got to see Maggie open up back to him, right? And explain how she can't forgive him, but, you know, she's going to try, basically. She wants to move on. And so that was a special moment. These screenshots here, just while they're on the screen as well, of Eugene, it's just so heartbreaking to see his reaction to the news of Rosita. It was honestly so heartbreaking. Of course, there wasn't many things as satisfying this season as seeing Pamela get put in handcuffs, right? We've been waiting for that for a while. I had a hunch that maybe they would kill her off, but it seems as though she's going to be spending the rest of her days in like a cell or something along those lines. I saw a comment on Reddit, so this isn't my thought, but I absolutely agree with this sentiment. Later on in this scene, when Gabriel is able to open the gates and let all of the community in to safety, that was like the end of a redemption arc for Gabriel, right? When we first met him, he had locked out his congregation outside of the church and they all died. So to see him in that moment let everyone in through the gates, that was like the end of his arc. And so I absolutely agree with that. And once I read that, I felt like, wow, that is just so true. So I wanted to share that with you guys. It is a shame we don't have another season because I'd have liked to have seen them really dive more into these scenes here, like killing off all of those zombies. That could have been a whole episode and it would have been awesome. But of course, because of the pacing in this episode being so rapid fire, you know, everything kind of happened so quickly that I didn't really get the chance to fully appreciate what was happening in front of me, right? Like they killed off like 10,000, I don't know how many zombies they killed, man, with those explosions. But it was wild, and it happened within a blink of an eye. Like, I would have liked to have seen more of that. Throughout this whole episode, there were a ton of Easter eggs, right, for a lack of a better phrase, like moments where it was like kind of reflective of things that have happened in previous seasons, kind of like odes to the past, if you know what I mean. One of them was like Judith in the hospital bed and how reminiscent that was of Rick in season 1, and this moment right here was another one. I think it's around the time where Negan is introduced to the show, somewhere like season 6, and they talk a lot about how these guys thought that they would all end up living happily ever after, sat around a table, enjoying a meal together, right? And so that scene earlier is absolutely super reminiscent of that. So we had another time jump also right after the death of Rosita, which was by far one of the most heartbreaking scenes we've ever had in The Walking Dead. I guarantee you there were people that cried to that scene. Like, I was close, I'm not gonna lie, I don't cry to this kind of shit, but like, that was just such an emotional scene. And in this time jump, to see that we've gone another year ahead now where they're beginning to set up the spin-off shows, right? This scene being one of them, another heartbreaking moment, right? Another tearjerker. And they gave us so many of these types of moments in this episode, right? Like, the entire episode, you're like itching to try and not cry. Like, it's honestly, it was so moving and everything I had hoped for from a finale of a show that I'd watched for this long. And finally, something we'd all been waiting for, right, was the return of Rick. Amber Shone, which was actually kind of a surprise to me. I didn't expect that we would see her as well in this final episode. But I was glad to see her, you know what I mean? And I'm really happy with how they decided to do this, right? Like, I thought perhaps it could be like a post-credit scene and it would just be like Rick looking off into the distance or something, but they actually went above and beyond, to be honest, right? And they gave us, again, more Easter eggs to do with the CRM, which is of course what ties all of these spin-off shows together when they come. Like, as you see on the back of Rick's jacket there, that was a CRM logo. And to see the helicopter come down, like, they've made it seem like Rick's being chased, basically, right? Like, he can't escape the CRM. And that's the kind of fucking storyline that I can get invested in, 100%. I cannot wait to see this show when it drops. They did such an amazing job here with these scenes, and just bravo, right? Like, well done to the guys over at AMC. Job well done. So of course this was the final episode of The Walking Dead, right? But this isn't going to be the final video to do with The Walking Dead on my channel. I have a bunch more breakdowns on the way talking about this scene in particular with Rick and Michonne, as well as just the Walking Dead universe as a whole. I've got a few like tier list videos that I want to make, like, you know, like best seasons, best characters, best episodes, best moments, you know, that kind of thing. So those are the kind of videos you can look forward to watching somewhat in the near future until the spin-off shows come out. In the meantime though, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, if you guys have gotten around to watching the finale as well, please leave a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions, and I'd love to get back to you when I have the time.